Hello and welcome to Unacademy. Welcome to another session of Geography Through Maps, where in this particular video we shall be discussing all the various different areas which have remained in news throughout the month of December, which shall be relevant for your prelims as well as the mains examination. Through this endeavor of ours, we aim to ease your understanding of the mapping portion and also ease and lower the burden that the students face before the prelims of covering the various different map portion. If you have not taken a look at the previous sessions of Geography Through Maps, I urge you to do take a look into the various other particular episodes of Geography Through Maps and brush up your preparation before the prelims. If you like the content, please don't forget to click on the like, share and the subscribe button. Now, aiming to sharpen your focus and preparation for the prelims examination, we have come up with a free crash course and various initiatives to help you prepare and ace the prelims exam. Now, as a part of that Conquer Prelims 2025 session, as you would have already attended the various different crash course sessions in polity, and also as you can see, you have other sessions lined up bringing about a compilation of current affairs for the year of 2024, and that too in the initial portions. Now that will act as a comprehensive revision course for you. So do attend this, do participate and take a look at the questions which can be framed for the prelims examination. So after polity we have IR, followed by economy, then followed by science and tech, and then we will have environment ecology, where we shall be discussing about the national parks in news, wildlife sanctuaries in news, the species in news, and also the various different geographical topics also, for example cloud seeding, etc., which have remained in news. So that is something we shall be discussing on 24th and 25th of Jan, and then a session for government schemes and reports and indices. So do follow this Conquer Prelims and do help your revision strategy to get more sharper. Now, in this particular month's discussion, we shall be discussing various different areas around more than 10 different places in news is what we are going to have a discussion for. If you are interested in getting the PDF of the particular discussion and also the annotations of the PPT, so you can join the Telegram channel and you can download the PDF and the PPTs as well. Now, what are the various topics that we are going to have a discussion for today? So basically, we will be discussing about Denmark Strait, which has been in news for, in a way, the largest submarine waterfall which has been discovered across the world. Then, in this month, we have also started the initiative of discussing the countries in news. So, France, Syria, South Korea, all of them have been in news due to the political turmoil. Moldova and Georgia, they have also remained in news. So with the help of this, we shall be addressing the local geographical features of the region and at the same time addressing the vicinity water bodies. And this is one of the pet areas and the key emphasis areas by UPSC as well. Then we shall be having a discussion for the Golden Triangle. The lawlessness and the opium trade in Golden Triangle is again becoming a major headache. So what is that Golden Triangle? And with the help of this Golden Triangle, we shall also take the opportunity to discuss the major drainage in this region. And that has been asked by UPSC as well. So we are going to discuss about River Mekong as well. Okay. So this is the various different discussion points. Then Ashtamudi Lake, Ken-Betwa interlink, that had been in news after the project had been inaugurated by the Prime Minister in Khajuraho. So what are the two dams which are planned for the Ken-Betwa interlink, where they are situated? River Brahmaputra has been in news as China seeks to build a very large dam over the river, raising concerns over the geological stability of the region, but also water security when it comes to Brahmaputra plains in the eastern part of India. And Similipal Tiger Reserve has been in news owing to the movement of tigers from the region and also the out-migration and in-migration as has been alleged. So without further ado, let us start the discussion with the Denmark Strait. The Denmark Strait, which is in the vicinity of Greenland, that has been in news. Why? Because of the discovery of very large submarine waterfall. Now, why is that waterfall created and where is Denmark Strait? That becomes a key area for your exam. Now, Greenland is also in news recently owing to the US interest, particularly by the Trump administration, in order to buy Greenland off from Denmark. So that is why Greenland is an important key area for this year's exam, because for two different reasons the region has been in news. So first things first, when you take a look at Greenland, the areas around it, where is the Denmark Strait? Why it is named as Denmark Strait? Because Denmark has the control over Greenland. So Denmark Strait separates which two land areas? So it separates Iceland from Greenland. Okay, it is here that a submarine waterfall has been found to be in existence. Now, on the other side of Denmark, you will have the presence of Baffin Bay around the Baffin Islands, and then Davis Strait. So Davis Strait separates Greenland from Baffin Islands. And here you have Labrador Sea, from where you have the cold ocean current in the name of Labrador Current, which starts draining southwards into the Atlantic, which helps mixing of the warm water of the Gulf Stream with the cold water of the Labrador Current, creating ideal fishing ground in the region of the northeastern part of North America. Then you have the Greenland Sea and the Norwegian Sea. So these are the locational features associated with Denmark Strait. So Denmark Strait connects which two water bodies? It basically connects North Atlantic Ocean with the Greenland Sea. So here, Denmark Strait. First things, which particular land areas are separated? So Greenland and Iceland. Okay? Iceland lies at the center of the mid-Atlantic ridge. Then it also joins North Atlantic Ocean with Greenland Sea. Greenland Sea. Now here what happens is a kind of thermohaline circulation. Now when we say thermohaline circulation, in simplest of the terms, what do we understand by that? That means due to the temperature and salinity characteristics of water, the density of water changes from one region to another. More denser water, being heavier, tends to sink, and warmer water, which is slightly more expansive, tends to rise up. So automatically there is a kind of a conveyor belt like cycle which is created, mixing the waters of the oceans across the globe, what is also a part of the global conveyor belt. Now this global conveyor belt carries warmer surface waters from the tropics to the higher latitudes. As this water reaches the higher latitudes, the water becomes colder. The salinity also tends to increase, due to which the density of water increases. As the density of water increases, its weight will increase, it will sink. And after that, here you observe, this is where the Denmark Cataract is created. And this Denmark Cataract, then after that, the water, the colder water, then flows southwards towards the lower latitude. So there is a complete mixing of water. It helps in maintaining the temperature distribution across the oceans as compared to the lower latitude to the higher latitudes. Then also maintaining the salt budget of the ocean, maintaining the salinity conditions. But more importantly nowadays, this kind of oceanic circulation is also vital for providing the important nutrients which are required by large marine biodiversity present in different latitudes. So here, as you can see, basically, this is the Denmark Cataract. Now, the name cataract can be misleading or can be intimidating, but don't worry about it. It is like a waterfall with multiple different cascading features. That is what you have as one of the features in a very simplistic form if we can talk about cataract. Now here, the water when it becomes cold, it sinks. Now here, the height the height difference or the height gradient where the cold water is coming down is around 11,500 feet. And the height of the largest waterfall on land is around 1/3 of that and even less. So this, in all technicality, is the largest waterfall which has been discovered across the planet. Now, the Denmark Strait Cataract is a submarine waterfall in the ocean channel between Iceland and Greenland. Right? It is technically the world's largest waterfall where water plunges for almost 11,500 feet. It is as wide as the entirety of the Denmark Strait. This is a region of ancient volcanicity being on the vicinity of the mid-Atlantic ridge. That is why you have these features across the ocean bottom as well. So the cataract is as wide as roughly around 300 miles across, and the seabed drops off over a length of 310 to 370 miles. So there is a variation on the seafloor. Overall, as you can see, this figure indicates the flow of water. So observe how you have a flow of water which is generated, right? And this also includes the subterranean, or rather the submarine movement of water. Warm water, remember always, in simplest of the terms, warm water moves from lower latitudes to higher latitudes on the surface, becomes cold, density increases, sinks, comes back to the lower regions. Okay? Gulf Stream and other such ocean currents of the North Atlantic, they are also a part of this kind of conveyor belt and circulation. So it is very vital for maintenance of oceanic balance. Now let us take a look at a sample question which can be asked from this particular topic. What I want you to do is take a look at these questions, answer these questions, put that in the comment section. What do you think is the answer of Q1? What do you think is the answer of question 2? Like that, so that it will also help you revise. So which of the following are the impacts of the thermohaline circulation? Maintaining the heat budget of the oceans, maintaining the salt budget of the oceans, and provision of nutrients for the marine biodiversity. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Take a look into that and put the correct answer in the comment section below. Now, having said that, we have come up with a very lucrative offer for the aspirants who intend to prepare, and we realize that preparation for civil services is not a sprint but rather a marathon. So we have come up with an offer where if you take a subscription of 9 months, you will get a free extension of another 9 months, and the subscription duration is going to be overall 18 months. Similarly, for 12 months, a free extension of 12 months. For 18 months, another free extension of 18 months plus flat 50% off. You get access to classes by the top educators, live sessions, paper evaluation, as well as the mentorship and doubt solving. Use the code IAS English and avail more discounts. Now, having said that, moving on to the second region, or rather the country in news. Now, Syria has grabbed international headlines owing to the political turmoil, right? You have the entire regime which was upthrown. Now, while the political aspect of it is not something that UPSC will directly ask, but historically we have seen, particularly during 2015, 2016 and 2017, the regions in Middle East and even in other parts of Eurasia which had been in news for political turmoil, even in Africa for that matter, there were physical traits and attributes asked about those particular regions. So let us use this opportunity to understand the location of Syria in a better way. So when we talk about Syria, first things first, what are the boundary nations, the bordering nations? So the bordering nations of Syria, Turkey to the north, Iraq to the east, then you have Jordan to the south, then you have Lebanon and Israel. These are the bordering nations. That can be vital question. For example, UPSC has asked which are the countries bordering Ukraine, which are the countries bordering Black Sea, which are the countries bordering Mediterranean Sea. So that kind of a question can be expected. Now, Syria has got a coastline into the Mediterranean as well. Okay, so that is the locational analysis of Syria. Now, when we talk about Syria and its physical features in slightly greater detail, Syria is a land of ancient civilization of Mesopotamia. It is drained by the mighty rivers of Tigris and Euphrates, right? And these rivers, in between these rivers, the cradle of civilization, as it is known, the Mesopotamian civilization, arose. Now here, the Syrian region is dominated by some hilly plateaus and the hilly regions as well. You have the anti-Lebanon mountains, which are to be found there. So you can have a direct question, where anti-Lebanon mountains are there? So naturally, candidates will end up marking in Lebanon. Anti-Lebanon, why the name of anti-Lebanon? Because the alignment is slightly different from the mountain ranges that you find in Lebanon. Then here you have the important port towns of Latakia and Tartus. Tartus has been in news because the previous regime had constructed various different resorts and luxury avenues in Tartus. Latakia had been in news for the past decade as being one of the regions where the Russian Navy would dock its ships and provide the support to the Syrian regime. So these are the important towns that you have to keep in mind, Latakia as well as Tartus. Aleppo region is also one of the conflict-ridden zones. So where is Aleppo? In Syria, right? And in between them all, you have the Bishri mountain region. Now here, if you take a look at it, then Tigris and Euphrates, where that river system is, the importance of that river system also comes in prominence. So Tigris and Euphrates rivers begin in the highlands of eastern Turkey. Turkey is to the north of Syria, remember that, and flow through Syria and Iraq, converging in the city of Kurna, Iraq, before emptying into Persian Gulf. So Tigris and Euphrates, do they converge in Syria? No, they will converge in Iraq. The land between the two rivers, known as Mesopotamia, was the cradle of early civilizations, including the Sumer and the Akkadian Empire. However, in today's world, these river systems are under increased threat and they are facing the problems in terms of maintenance of flow, partly due to climate change, but mostly due to anthropogenic interventions like construction of dams and also river pollution, which is very prominent. Let us take a look at the practice question. Question number 2. Which of these countries share their border with the Mediterranean Sea? Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Turkey. How many of the above is or are correct? Only 2, only 3, only 4, all the above. Think about it and mark the answer correctly. Now, then moving on to another country where political turmoil is the main news story. So here, that is the case of France. Now, France is one of the major countries of Western Europe. So here, if you take a look at the locational parameter of France, so basically it is in the western part of Europe. Now here, it is connected to the Iberian Peninsula. This is your entire region of Iberian Peninsula. That is the region of Spain and Portugal. That is the portion of the Iberian Peninsula. Now here, this Iberian Peninsula is separated from the African mainland by a strait. And here you have the Strait of Gibraltar. Strait of Gibraltar. Okay. Here the indent that you see, a kind of an inward location. This is where you have the presence of the water body, what is known as Bay of Biscay. Then, to the south of France, there were ancient land masses which converged, leading to continental type of convergence. And here you have the Pyrenees, joining the Iberian Peninsula with the region of France. Now, France is separated from UK here by the presence of another water body, that is the English Channel. English Channel. Okay, so this is some of the locational features and attributes of France. Now, if you take a look at the physical features and the physical characteristic, then Seine is one of the major rivers of France. It drains through the capital city of Paris. So from Paris, you have the riverfront of River Seine. And Seine drains where? Into the English Channel. English Channel basically here, Dover to Calais. That is the one of the shorter portions of the English Channel, where the English Channel gets very narrow. So oftentimes when you come across news stories that XYZ individual has swum across the English Channel, they do move through from Dover to Calais. Then here you have the Pyrenees, right? Mountainous area. This is the entire extent of Alps, which extends into Italy as well, which extends into Switzerland as well. Then you have the Jura Mountains, the formation of which ranges back hundreds of millions of years ago. You have the Plateau region, that is the Massif Central, which is forested, green cover, but it is a plateau nonetheless. These are the areas where rich reserves of coal earlier had also been found, and now the western part of France is where you have the agricultural produce historically being carried out. So that is basically the detail about France. Here you will find the important regions like Nice, Marseille, all those that you would have come across in your study of the world history, right? And what you have to keep in mind, which is the river which drains through the capital city of Paris. Now let us take a look at the practice question here. Arrange the following water bodies from north to south: Bay of Biscay, Strait of Gibraltar, and English Channel, where they are situated north to south. And also, while taking a look at this, do ensure that you have an idea of Arabian Peninsula, Iberian Peninsula rather, and also the Pyrenees. That forms an important part. So in the boundary region of France, to the south you have Pyrenees, to the east you have the Alps and the Jura Mountains. Jura Mountains extend into Switzerland as well. It is after the Jura Mountain that you have the entire age, geological time scale, which is referred to as the Jurassic Age, named after the Jura Mountain region. Now, South Korea has been in news due to the discord between the military leadership and the political leadership as well. So again, the same approach. We should be aware about the region of South Korea and also the vicinity areas. So here, South Korea is a part of, or the southern part of, the entire Korean peninsula. And here, basically, North Korea is joined to the mainland, and South Korea by land is joined and shares its boundary only with North Korea. If you take a look at the region around South Korea, you will find the presence of Sea of Japan to the east, then Korea Strait and Tsushima Strait. Tsushima Strait is where you have the very famous warm water Pacific current, the Tsushima current. Now, Tsushima Strait separates Japan from the region of Korea. Then you have the Jeju Strait, where ecologically sensitive region of Jeju Island that is separated from the region of South Korea. To the west, you have the Yellow Sea. Now, this region of South Korea, if you will observe, Seoul is the capital. Now, this is separated from North Korea by the line of 38 parallel. We'll take a look into that also. But this is the larger viewpoint: Sea of Japan, Yellow Sea, Tsushima Strait, Jeju Strait. These are your major water bodies surrounding. Now, North Korea shares its boundary with China and South Korea. South Korea shares its boundary only with North Korea. That is why so much of conflict as well. Now, physical features, a gist of it. The country is bordered by North Korea to the north, East Sea, Japan Sea to the east, the East China Sea to the south, Yellow Sea to the west, and here the Japanese island of Tsushima is separated by the Korea Strait and the Tsushima Strait. South Korea makes up around 45% of Korean Peninsula's land mass. It is separated from the region of North Korea by the 38 parallel, right? So it demarcates North and South Korea. Now, this has got a kind of a post-Second World War legacy. After Second World War, when demilitarization of the region was happening, that is where at the Potsdam Conference, you had an agreement where the north of the 38th parallel was where USSR was supposed to accept the surrender from the Japanese forces, and in the south, the Americans were to accept the Japanese surrender. So since that point of time, that became a delineating factor. So South Korea, surrounding water bodies, land area, and also what is 38th parallel. That becomes important. Then Moldova is another one of the countries which have remained in news. Now, Moldova is situated in a very sensitive zone, war-torn area of Ukraine. Now here, when you take a look at Moldova, this is where Moldova is situated. Does it share its boundary with the Black Sea? No. But again, because Moldova is in news, you can expect a question associated with Black Sea region as well. So here, when we talk about Black Sea, which are the bordering countries to Black Sea, that becomes important. So Russia, then Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, all of these, they become relevant. Georgia as well. Georgia also shares its boundary with Black Sea. So here is where you have the region of Moldova. Here is where you have the Crimean Peninsula. This is the Crimean Peninsula which was annexed by Russia. Okay, this is the region of Black Sea is connected with the Mediterranean by the help of two straits. Which are these two straits? Put that in the comment section. We have discussed it in the previous places in news. If you have not watched the previous video, take this opportunity, look at the previous video, and you will get well versed with it. Now, here the practice question. Consider the following countries: Romania, Georgia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Turkey, and Russia. How many of the above border the Black Sea? Put the answer under question 4 in the comment section. Let us see how many of us are able to put the correct answer. Then, Georgia has been in news. It has reached out to India to begin free trade agreement talks. So, when we talk about Georgia, this is again a region which is in between the area of Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. This has always remained in news and in dispute with regards to Russian intervention in the region. Now, this is where the Caucasus mountain ranges, they do exist across the region of Georgia. So, if you take a look at it, here to the north of it, you have the Greater Caucasus mountain range, right? Mount Elbrus, which is amongst the highest peaks in the region, is to the north of Georgia. And to the south, you have the Lesser Caucasus mountain range. So, north and south is bounded by the Caucasus ranges. Then you have here the lowlands, the plain areas, they exist in between these mountain areas. Okay, so the boundary regions and the water bodies it shares its boundary with. To the north lies the wall of the Great Caucasus ranges, consisting of a series of parallel and transverse mountain ranges rising eastwards and often separated by gorges, cut down by river systems in the region. Southern slope of the Greater Caucasus merge into a second band consisting of central lowlands, a depression area that is agriculturally productive. Then, the Kolkhida lowland near the shores of Black Sea is covered by a thick layer of riverborne deposits, fertile region. These lowlands, the Kolkhida lowlands that you see, this is where the deposits, because the rivers are in their older stage by the time that they reach this area. So this is again a fertile lowland. Southern band of the Georgian territory is marked by the ranges and plateaus of Lesser Caucasus. So where is Georgia? Where is Greater Caucasus? Where is Lower Caucasus? Where is Mount Elbrus? Where is the Kolkhida lowland, which is the region which is agriculturally productive? Does Georgia shares its boundary with the Caspian? No, it shares its boundary only with the Black Sea. Okay. Now, the Golden Triangle had been in news owing to increased reporting of the opium trade which was happening in the region and which has been happening in the region. So, which are the countries under Golden Triangle? So when we talk about the entire concept of Golden Triangle, it is inclusive of the countries of Myanmar, then you have Thailand and Laos. That is considered to be the Golden Triangle, often defamed for the drug trade which is happening in the area. So that is the region of the Golden Triangle. Now here, mountainous region in Southeast Asia where the borders of Thailand, Laos and Myanmar meet near the confluence of Mekong and the Ruak River. Mekong is a major river system draining through the area, long associated with drug cartels and illicit cultivation and trade of opium. That is why the name Golden Triangle was associated. Now, when you talk about river Mekong, it is amongst one of the largest rivers of Southeast Asia. It traverses through multiple countries, forming the natural frontier of the multiple countries as well. So, Mekong River, which is one of the longest rivers of Southeast Asia, the 7th longest river in Asia and 12th longest in the world, has a length of around 4350 kilometers. It is the river which rises in China, the Qinghai province of China, and flows through the Tibetan region, the Yunnan province, after which, this is the important part for your prelims, it forms the natural border between Myanmar and Laos, as well as between Laos and Thailand. Two important capital cities lie on the bank of Mekong River, Vientiane as well as Phnom Penh. Vientiane, the capital of Laos, and Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, lie on this river. This is a river which is on the banks of which you have incredible amount of paddy fields and paddy cultivation which is carried out, and along with that, aquaculture and pisciculture is the main economic activity of the Mekong River. Now, within our country, Ashtamudi Lake had been in news owing to the sighting of the migratory species of birds and also due to the amount of pollution, the solid waste dumping which is being carried out. Now, the Ashtamudi Lake is situated across the western coastline of India in the state of Kerala, right? That is where you have the Ashtamudi Lake. So it is a Ramsar wetland situated and located in the Kollam district of Kerala. This is where you have the Ashtamudi Lake. It is because of its 8 arms or channels, the shape of it. That is why the name Ashtamudi has been given. Second largest lake in Kerala, which has found its way into the Sri through the estuary, the Neendakara estuary, which is present in the region. Kallada River is the major source of water for the Ashtamudi Lake. So Kallada River is a westward draining river. That also becomes important. Historical significance dates back to around 14th century. Important port connecting the ancient city of Ceylon to the rest of the world. Okay. Now an important Ramsar site, important for migratory species of birds. Then we come to Ken-Betwa interlinking. Now this has been in news for quite few years now, so we'll not go into great detail here, just covering the basics of it. Now excess water from river Ken is being transferred into the Betwa channel. That is the entire project. Now here, the Ken-Betwa interlink is supposed to provide water into the water-starved region of Bundelkhand. At the same time, the region of Panna, the Panna wildlife region, that is going to be submerged, which is going to endanger the tiger population in the area. Now, this will have, the project of interlinking will have 2 phases. In the first phase, you will have the construction of dams across the region of Ken, and in the second phase, construction of dams across Betwa. So it includes a 2-kilometer tunnel and overall a canal which will be 220 kilometer in length. So phase 1, the Dodhan Dam Complex. Now, Dodhan Dam Complex will be situated here across River Ken. And then the Lower Ore Dam, the Bina Complex project, that is a part of phase 2. Now, that will be situated close to River Betwa. So, you have the Ore River which joins with Betwa. So, that is where it will be constructed to the west of River Betwa. So, the location of it in MP and also the region that is Bundelkhand. River Brahmaputra had been in news owing to the plans of China to construct a massive dam across River Brahmaputra. So when you talk about River Brahmaputra, again, what is important for you to understand? the major tributaries of the river Brahmaputra. So as you can see, river Brahmaputra drains almost in a linear manner in the region of Tibet, where it is known as Yarlung Tsangpo, and after that, where Namcha Barwa is situated, after that it takes a southern turn owing to the syntactial bend in the Himalayas. It enters Arunachal with the name of Siang. Only after Sadia district, this is where Sadia is situated at the confluence with Lohit, that is when it gains the name of Brahmaputra, and it is known by the name of Brahmaputra up till Dhubri, that is in the border of the Assam plains. After that, it enters Bangladesh. So which are the important tributaries that is relevant for your examination? So on the right bank, Subansiri, Kabeng, Manas, Tista and Sankosh. Tista is where you have the conflict of water sharing with Bangladesh, and on the left bank, Buri Dehing, Dhansiri, Dibang, Sikang and Lohit. These are your major tributaries. Now the last region of news, that is the Similipal Tiger Reserve, which had been in news owing to the claims of big cat leaving the tiger reserve. So Similipal, which is also an elephant reserve area, it is situated in Odisha. Now here, it is situated in Mayurbhanj district in the northernmost part of Odisha, surrounded by high plateau and hills. The highest peaks of Keriburu and Meghashidi are situated. You have the tropical moist deciduous forest in the northern part and semi-evergreen patches in between, which provides ample space for the herbivore population as well. It is here where you will find the presence of melanistic tigers or the presence of black tiger population as well. And there are various different tribes and the tribal communities which also inhabit the region: Kolha, Santhal, Bhumiji, and etc. These are some of the tribal communities that are to be found. This is an important area of wildlife corridor, elephant reserve, tiger reserve, and hence critical biodiversity region. Okay, so that will be all from my side for the portion of geography through maps and the places in news in the month of December. Do download the PDF and the PPT from the Telegram channel and take a look at the questions. Put that in the comment section. What do you think is the correct answer? If you have liked the video, don't forget to click on the like, share, and the subscribe button. Till we meet again, take care. Goodbye. Thank you.